the questions.
Welcome to the Startup Gap, where we share stories of how entrepreneurs went from dreams to success. Every week, we look at helping entrepreneurs bridge the gap that divides them from achieving their dreams by understanding what others have done. Learn more at startupgap.com.
Hi, this is Andy Nathan with Startup Gap, and welcome to our weekly show. And I've been waiting to actually play that. That's the first time I actually got that to work. I feel so cool and professional now. Of course, I just ruined it by the fact that I actually said that. However, we do have a master professionalism here today with us, Dik Muller. He is I want to say a serial entrepreneur. I mean, he's done everything from wineries to real estate investment. I saw something, and I was looking through your LinkedIn profile. You were doing smart cards in the 80s or 90s. I mean, you're doing shopping now. I mean, you really have done it all. I mean, you managed over 100 employees at one time. I know you've owned like 30, 40, 50 properties currently. You've definitely done some cool stuff, and we're really grateful that you're with us here today. And before we get to you, though, real quick, I just want to give a quick shout-out to our sponsor, which is Just Retweet. And just go to justretweet.com. They have some amazing programs just to help you get some more traffic for your blog. So check out justretweet.com. With that being said, those of you who are watching on Startup Gap, definitely feel free to use the chat, the Twitter chat. I am live and on there, so I can answer questions. And same with those who are on the Google+. I can answer, ready to make sure we answer your questions as we go along. I'm not going to keep talking. I'm going to let the man of the hour talk. Dik, why don't you give an introduction of yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do and how you got started.
Hi, everybody. This is Dik Muller. I actually have an interesting background. As a young man, I was a very talented artist. I got my first scholarship to the Art Institute at the age of 8. And art has always been my thing. Graduated from high school, went to art school, realized that's a difficult way to make a living. I wanted to be a portrait painter. Hello. And I went back to school, went and took some courses at Kellogg's at Northwestern. And then went out and bought the company that I had worked for as a kid in high school. And that began a almost 30-year run of being in the marketing services business. We did work for little guys, big guys, Fortune 500, the oil companies, all kinds of things. You name it, we did it. We got involved in, which is I'm going to tell you this little part because it fits in with what I'm doing now. Back in 1982, which before most of you guys were born, Andy, that includes you.
I was born in 1982, by the way. I'd like that to be noted. I was 3 years old.
Oh, whoopee!
Okay.
Anyway, 1982, we had an opportunity to be one of the original vendors for a company that nobody thought would succeed. And we were with them from 82 to early 85 when they were so kind enough to take us out for dinner. And they took our whole office, and it was a wonderful dinner. And they proceeded to tell us that they were going national and they were going to spend $20 million, except they were going to give it to somebody else. So that's a lesson learned. Big boys play with the big boys. Big boys use the little boys to grow. But you can't get upset. It was a good couple of years run. I was very fortunate in 1991. It was either completely retool my business and go digital or exit. I had an opportunity to sell it on the top of the wave. I met with my attorney, and he was very straightforward, let's put it that way. And he said, "Do you want to ride the wave all the way to the beach, I mean, you've done it before, you could do it again, or do you want to get off? We got off. After that, I got involved in smart cards and did a couple of 3 or 4 programs for Mobil Oil, for Amoco, in car washes. You could reload a smart card, go in a car wash, it touches car wash, pick whatever you want, and get your car washed. Since we had the patent, which was a patent on any scannable symbol involving a lottery or a sweepstakes, we own that patent. So we thought we were just going to ride high. Well, as it turned out, the state of Colorado decided they were going to use barcodes in their lottery. We sued them. We spent $90,000 to find out their lawyers could last longer than ours. And the world knows the rest of that story. There are barcodes on virtually every lottery ticket everywhere in the country, and it was a lesson well learned. After that, the real estate market was beginning to warm up, and I was involved.
When was the market warming up? Because I mean,
the market was beginning to warm up in the late 90s, actually. Okay. And I knew that because I was very fortunate. I was on the board of a bank, and you get to see some things that are going on. And so
that's why I was asking.
Huh?
That's part of the reason why I was asking, because that was the right time to buy.
Yes.
Right before the prices really started to.
Oh, absolutely. And we bought some property in the late 90s down in Florida, and developed a condominium on the beach, sold it out in 2 weeks, built it. It was wonderful. Built another one, did the same thing, and I was having the time of my life because we had bought a home down there, and we had a home in Chicago, and we had a country house up north. And it was like, this is going to be so wonderful, I can't believe it. I'm living a dream. I'm designing buildings, I'm watching them being built, and money's rolling in. Here we are, it's 2006. We got a chance to buy a really big piece of property.
Okay.
You're rolling your eyes because you know the story.
I experienced that story on a smaller scale, so,
you know, and the bottom fell out, and we've all experienced, and those who haven't, it's really a life-changing experience. Fortunately, I had been there before in my life, having had, being entrepreneurial, I can only tell you, life is an up and a down. And if you think it's going to be smooth sailing or just little hills, it's never going to happen. If you want to do that, go get a job. And we all know a job is just over broke. I mean, let's face it. So that didn't turn out too well. And after that, I decided that I didn't know what I was going to do. I dabbled around with a little of this and a little of that and continued in the real estate business, but my heart wasn't in it. My heart is still not in it. I own some property, and we have some real estate deals going, but that's not where it's at. Last year I was in Austria, and I met some guys at a cocktail party, and they were from a company called Lioness, and I thought, this is crazy. What do these guys do? And they're the world's largest loyalty community. And it took me about 1 hour to realize these fellas were really no different in their business model than Discover Card. They want 5% of the world. Well, that's 350 million people. That's a nice piece of business. And they are just coming to the United States. How could I not get involved? And that's what I did. And it's a tough road, don't let anybody kid you. It's very hard work because there's only about 2% of the people that are really entrepreneurial enough and want to work hard enough to make it a success. So it's turning over a lot of rocks.
Absolutely. And that's like any venture.
Right.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, right now with the okay, I'm not. This is about you, but I'm gonna just take a personal example for a second. Right now,
Oh, that's perfect.
no, I'm using the book. I'm thinking of the book project right now because it's top of mind right now because I'm looking for people to get in. I need a few more people in there before the end of before Thursday. I mean, if we get them in a few days later, that's okay.
Yeah.
But it's been challenging because I've been going through and asking like, look. You could spend $7,000 with this other program with somebody else, or you could spend $81 and get pretty much the same results.
Right.
Which one would you rather have? And people are just. It takes a while, and I get it. It takes a while for you to get the message across and actually build up that repertoire. And I know the service business, just on this side, it's kind of funny. I sent out an email today for the membership, and I had somebody respond back and ask me about one of my service products. And this is what's happening because I've been doing services for so long. When I first started doing services, I would send out emails and nothing would happen. So now I feel like at least I get some business from it. So it's just I get it. It takes a while, and what you're doing, Dick, it takes persistence because you have to hit enough people, and at a certain point it will hit the momentum level.
I had a gentleman call today that I talked to this about last November. He said, "Oh, I watched the link you sent me. I didn't even know who I was talking to." He said, "Hi, Dick." I'm like, "Well, who's this?"
Yeah.
But it does work that way, and that's how you build your business. One day you look around and it's like, wow, all these little flowers are growing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It's like there are things I did. I have this conversation. This is part of the reason why we created the Startup Gap. And by the way, if you hear some like crawling in the back, my cats are actually fighting right now because they're disagreeing on what we're talking about, I guess. That's part of the reason why we do the Startup Gap because you're right. It takes a while for all the flowers, and it's amazing to see where everything comes from over time, and it does have a purpose though, and you're shocked after a while.
I think one of the things that, and I don't think it's just peculiar to today, but I really believe that there are not a lot of people men or women who can focus on a goal, know the goal is 2 or 3 years out there, and just know you're going to get there. That too many people stop themselves. I mean, it's like, oh, I can't do this. Why can't you do it? Well, I don't feel like it today. That's a bad story. That doesn't fly. Of course you don't feel like it. If I won the lottery, you think I'd be doing what I'm doing? I'd probably be goofing off somewhere, but maybe not.
So I was going to ask you what your greatest challenge that you faced when you started, but I think you already sort of answered that in that sense.
Yeah, my greatest challenge is I'm the kind of person that expects everybody who I'm around to have the same kind of feeling about accomplishment that I do.
Okay.
And I oftentimes will, through a fault of my own, invest in individuals that don't turn out to be what I want. And I want everybody to be successful. I mean, I really want everybody to be successful. And but you can't drag them kicking and screaming to success because they're not going to go.
I agree with you on that, and it's one of the hardest lessons to learn because you do, especially for when you're new. That is like one of the biggest things that happens is that you think that you could save every person, and you think you could every client is gonna that's part of the reason why as you go along, when I first started, I didn't understand why some people were so picky with their clients. I mean, look, it's a client. As long as you could help them and it's something that's beneficial, let's do it. But there's a certain point where you're like, Oh yeah, that's why you don't work with that person.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like you don't.
Because nothing is ever right.
Yeah, it's believe you know what? I have something right now with clients. There's some clients because I have to keep following up with them. I just put them on automatic payment. If they don't want to do that, then I don't want to work with them because otherwise they're not going to follow up with me. And then I'm just gonna be chasing my tail and like not able to work with them. So it's like I'd rather either if you want me to work for you and get stuff done, we set it up. And some of them can't even do the automatic payment the first time. So it's like if you can't even set it up, like then how are you gonna be able to do this every month? I'm gonna be chasing you every single month, and then I'm never gonna get any of your work done because I'm gonna be spending all my energy on that.
Sounds like the real estate business.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
You've been there. You know what that is. I've been there.
I know, and that's why when I keep hearing your story, you know, it's hard sometimes when I'm talking to people on Startup Gap not to just completely say, "Oh yeah, I get it."
I've been there.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Um,
You've
so
got a wealth of knowledge for a young man. I can only say that because, we don't talk about that part.
well, yeah, so you find me young. That's the thing I take out of that. So let my wife know. She calls me old man because I'm 4 years older than her.
I hope she's not there to hear you. You're going to get whacked.
No, like, it's funny. Like because when I turned 30, she's like, "Wow, you're so old." She's like, she's 26. She's like, just wait until you turn 30. She's like, whatever. Now that she's over the age of 30, it wasn't. The verb changed. It wasn't you're so old. It's we're so old. It, it was kind of funny. It's like she still she still might tease me about some stuff, but it became less about it became less about like, hey, you're old, I'm young, versus like, God, we're both getting older. It's like, you hit that 30 mark, and it's all of a sudden like the mindset changes. So, but going on and moving forward, how long did it take for you to consider yourself successful then in business?
It's kind of interesting. I was probably 38 or 40 years old. I was 19, I'll tell you when it was exactly, 1978, 79. Everything was upside down. Interest rates were sky high. At that time, I had more business than I knew what to do with. I had a small agency in 1979. Nobody. We did $12 million, and that was a lot of money then.
And that was wait, which business?
I bought a Greystone on Erie in Chicago with 21% interest, and I didn't even think anything of it.
Wow, that is.
Yeah,
Okay.
didn't think a thing of it.
I've been mortgaged for years, and 21% interest. I mean, I get it. The only times you see those are private investment loans nowadays.
I mean, that was shark money any other time in history, but it didn't matter because we were doing so well, and we needed a new home for our business. So we bought a Greystone in a parking lot, and it's crazy, but I never gave it a second thought. And I think the secret to being success is you can't give decisions like that a second thought. Just do it. I really believe it's just, I was focused on 1990 at that point, and that's where I was going. And this was just another step to grow the business. I needed a facility, and I thought it would be cheaper than renting, and so forth and so on, and it went on. And I must admit, I was very fortunate. In 1986, a gentleman came along with his wife, and Bertram, what was Bertram's last name? The guy who did Marina Towers, the architect.
Okay.
Bertram Goldberg.
But I don't know the name.
Yeah, Bertram Goldberg. He was the guy who designed the Marina Towers.
Okay.
And They came by and they absolutely wanted the property. And I said, okay. And we did it. And that's the way it went. You know, I did very well. I didn't get as much as I wanted. And when we did the closing, my attorney he's a guy I went to school with. He said to me, he said, yeah, we're gonna hold a tag day for you one of these days. But it's
What?
a day.
A tag date?
A tag day. You know what a tag day? When you see the people out on the street with the little donut thing, looking for money.
Oh,
You know, they come up, or misrecording or whatever it is. You know, tag day.
got it. Okay, I think, yeah. So you get a tag. Okay, I'm following. I think I get that. Okay,
Yeah.
well, so
And-
just okay, so you're going along and everything's working. So I like that philosophy, by the way, that you just do it, because you're right. It's like, a lot of times I'll sit there before I just bought some software yesterday. It wasn't that much, but it's like I was like $50. Should I buy it? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure for like a year or two now, I'll be using that software. I won't even think about it again, the price. But for that 5 minutes, I was actually debating: is it worth the price? Is it not worth the price?
Right.
Well, I bought it. I'm like, okay, well, I already spent it. Now we get to use it and have fun with it.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And the thing that really bothered me, beginning in about 1987,
Okay.
was I saw desktop publishing coming. I saw that the design work as we had known it, which was done on a drawing board,
Yeah.
was going to be gone. And I didn't want to be part of the new wave. And I was probably wrong. But, hey, that's the real world. But I just didn't find it. And if you can remember back to those days, it was pretty choppy. I mean, you couldn't do a whole lot.
I don't remember those days that much. I mean, I remember them, but not in terms of desktop publishing. So.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying.
I get it. It's when things started to change. I mean, back then, graphic design and everything, and the entire marketing world was completely different. So
Right.
I do understand that. I don't remember what the software looked like back then. I mean,
It was basically about as crude as you can get. And I do remember, I mean, we started out being quite advanced. We bought our first computers. They were called Televideo in 1978. It had a 7-inch floppy that held 100K.
100K. I think that entire floppy couldn't even hold this Google Hangout.
Oh, you got to be kidding! And
It couldn't even hold like the little wording down below where it says like.
No, because in those days you could only use 3 digits
Yeah.
to name a file. I mean, it got to be crazy.
Yeah, now I get it.
We bought our first. We had a client who was down in Florida, and we bought some of the very early fax machines, and then they were on a drum, and they used magnetic paper, and they had one there, and we had one here, and then I bought one called a Murata that weighed a ton and was made out of cast metal, and that was 1979. Was $3,000.
I know. And I remember using fax machines in the late 90s, and I said, I actually, because I was interning at a company, and
Yeah.
I remember saying to myself, because I'm in college, I'm like, this is so useless. I said, why would we just fax stuff to people when we could just email it to them? It'd be so much easier. We just attach a file, and people are like, no, you can't do that.
There you go.
I said, why not? They said, well, no one would think it's official enough, and
No paper.
yeah, it has to. Yeah, they need the paper. I said, yeah, but the fax. I mean, and even then, like faxes, like I mean, I still to this day think faxes, like, you take a look at them now, they're okay because like it's the printing and the it's all digital. But like back then, it was still a lot of it analog, and people you would send it out, and you actually it looks so choppy and so it was like the little wavy lines going through the entire page. You're like, why would people actually do that? So it just whatever. Real quick, just want to give a shout out to Carl Kamek. He is watching and says, "What a great episode! Thanks, Dick." So I'm just watching as it comes in, and thank you very much, Carl. And Carl was actually on here last week, by the way. In the meantime, I'm gonna go in and just ask you. So, what would you say is your coolest story as you got started with your business? I mean, you've already told me some cool ones, but I'm not sure if we've heard.
I think the greatest lesson in business is if you decide you want a client, you have to go way out on a limb. And I can tell you 2 stories. One was with a company called Fidelity Electronics, who had developed a game called Chess Challenger. It was a chess game. And we were doing some point of sale for them. And I wanted that business. I wanted the whole business.
Okay.
And this goes back in the late 70s. So they were going to have a national sales meeting. And I said to the owner, I said, I'd like to present my thinking about where you guys should go with your business. He said, I don't care. Whatever you want to do, bring it to the sales meeting. Well, this goes back before the wonderful digital age. We did a slide presentation. We had a bank of 40 slide projectors, all synchronized.
Wait, how did you synchronize 40 projectors?
We had a technical guy who was a wizard. We took this whole 9 yards of stuff to Miami.
Okay.
We went through the whole program. It took about 20 minutes was all it took. When it was like a movie show. And when we were done, the guy, there was their ad agency was in the audience. The guy came up to me and he said, I guess you deserve to get the business. And being at that, and when you know you're a winner, it didn't cost me anything to say you're right. I mean, I know he wasn't happy, but the reality is, we went the extra mile. After that, we did all their television commercials. We did their Super Bowl commercials. It was wonderful.
That's kind of cool. So you actually, How much?
I mean, you just got to go out there and do it.
Super Bowl ad back then?
Huh?
How much was a Super Bowl ad back then?
We did something kind of slick. We bought time at the end of the Super Bowl if it went over the limit. That year, there was a 19-minute overtime. In 19 minutes, we aired 7 times. And in those days, I mean, it was I don't know how expensive it was, but a minute commercial has on the Super Bowl, I don't think it's ever been under $500,000. We spent, I think, 20 grand or something like that.
That's it? On a Super Bowl ad?
Yeah, but that was for the time. The ads were over and above that. But their total expense for that Super Bowl was right around $110,000.
Wow. Okay. Sorry.
Including production and everything. But the reality was, it was a crapshoot for them too. If there had been no overtime,
I get it. Then they wouldn't.
The 110 was gone.
Yeah. No, but it's a good idea just to go through. So okay. So moving forward, because I just want to make sure I get through a few more questions here with you.
Dig in.
And you probably answered some of this, but how do you stay motivated during tough times? What's your inspiration?
You know, my inspiration is very simple. Uh, I happen to be married to a lady who goes along with the flow, and she's in a very tough business also. She works for one of Mr. Buffett's holding companies, so that's a whole crazy genre by itself that I don't want to get into. But the way to get motivated is, for me, you've only got one life to live. I do not want to spend my whole life living in the corner of one closet when the world is my house. And I need to get out of the closet. And the only way I can do that is to be very successful. And the more successful I am, the more of the house I can see.
Okay, that's so success motivates you, inspires you.
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure I understand that right, but I like it. That's
success breeds success.
Okay.
The more successful you are, the more successful people you meet, the more the world opens.
Yes, agreed. So, and by the way, I don't know if this is in reference to what you just said, but Joe Ray just said excellent 7 times. I'm going to assume it's because of what you just said, so thank you, Joe Ray. I like that. So what resources or tools do you use for your business?
I'll tell you in a word, creativity. You've got to really, really train yourself to say every day, what I did yesterday, what didn't work, and what can we do today that's creative and different.
Okay.
That's not easy.
Okay, fair enough. And I like that. What's your greatest habit?
My greatest or my worst?
Well, I want your greatest, but if you want to give both.
No, I don't have a worse one, but I'll tell you what my greatest habit is.
No, you don't have a worse one. Oh, come on. Everyone has a bad habit here or there.
I'm working on all 28,000 of them. My greatest habit is, and once in a while, I don't do it, is I try to work out for a full hour every day. Physical exercise, hard. And what that does is it makes your psyche believe that your body is strong, and that makes you confident. And if you can do that, high blood pressure and all the other garbage will not be there. You'll get rid of it.
Oh, absolutely. So, okay. And what would you say is your greatest accomplishment as of today?
My greatest accomplishment, besides making it through life? No.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that
there's... My greatest accomplishment, I haven't done it yet. It's still coming. And okay. I can tell you what it is. I want to be recognized for my creative talents. And I don't mean in business. I mean in the art world. I'm an accomplished sculptor, and that's where I want to be.
Okay.
And you can't do that in today's world, unless you were married with a silver spoon.
I'm not being in the art world. I really couldn't tell you.
It's a very interesting world. It's more about who you're friends with and who you know than it is about talent.
Okay. So.
And that's fine. But I'd like to be recognized, Well,
the good thing is you know me.
Well, that's half the battle.
Yeah, I mean, so you're fine.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah, my non-understanding of art should take you through.
No, I mean, people like Richard Serra and Frank Stella, these are incredible sculptors. And now it's kind of interesting because Richard Gere is not the architect.
Okay, I know.
He's now decided he wants to compete in the memorial business, so he's going to do the the new war memorial in Washington, D.C., which has always been something that well-known sculptors have done. But,
Okay.
and it's a money game.
I would assume it would be.
Yeah.
I'm not going to really go into that, but I'll assume at some point that we'll hear your name by some memorial or famous.
We don't know for sure, but maybe. Things happen.
Okay.
Never shut that door.
Very good. And if anybody has any final questions, let us know. I see that Wayne Wymore said that's a great takeaway. If you want the business, you have to go after it, along with the story of the 40 projector presentation. So I think you like both of those. So thank you very much, Wayne, and thanks for joining us. Yeah, no, dude, we have to talk. I haven't seen you in a little while. So also, just want to see if anybody does have questions. I'm looking through right now. I have a final question. Recognized how? Oh, Gail Gardner from GrowMap wants to know how you want to be recognized.
How do I want to be recognized? I
How
want
can we get an introduction for you? I think that's what she's asking. It's just she says, how can we get an introduction?
to me.
I think so. Just yes.
Give her my email. I don't care.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll connect. I have her email, so I'll connect the two of you afterwards.
Yeah, that's fine.
Gail.
I would be delighted to speak with her.
Okay. Yeah. Gail's. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Gail, I will introduce you to Dik afterwards. You guys can connect. That's not a problem. And okay, with that, my final question is, since this is Startup Gap, and we do ask the stories between dreams and success, how long would you say it took you to go from dreams to success? You said that you were successful in 1978, 79.
Well,
how long did it take you to get there?
I bought my first business in 1961, so you can do the math.
17 years.
Yep.
1961.
Yeah.
Hold on. You said that you said you were 38 in 1978, right?
Well, I was a little older.
Figuring out the math here, so you were like what?
Okay, you wanted. I was born in 1937.
Well, no, I wasn't trying to dig that far. I just trying to get the math right because you were saying.
Well, I was fudging. I was actually a little older.
Okay, well, sorry, I didn't mean to
I was in my 30s. Look at it this way.
Yeah.
Look at it this way. I was born in 37. In 61, I was 24. So in 78, 16 years later, I was 40.
Okay, so you were close enough. And then Gail is just double checking, and I'm probably just gonna say talk to her through email. He wants recognition for art. What would constitute recognition? I think you already answered that.
Yeah, recognition. Recognition is being recognized by my peers. I don't care about giant public.
Got it. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no, and by the way, there is a bit of a time delay. That's why if you questions a little bit afterwards.
Well, I thought it was just me that was slow.
No, it's Google. When you do the video, it actually is about a minute or two slow. Just it has to get out. It has to travel a little back and forth and everywhere else.
I love it.
Okay, and with that, I'm gonna just say, Dik, if you could let people know how they could reach you, that'd be great.
Yes, you can reach me at Dik, D-I-K, at dikmuller.com.
Okay, very cool.
That's simple enough.
Thank you so much for being on the show today, and I'm gonna be checking. I'm working on getting somebody for next week. I don't have anybody yet, actually. I'm just looking at the schedule ahead. I will have something soon. In the meantime, however, what we are working on is the next group book project, which I mentioned earlier. We're actually going to be having a member meeting on Thursday, so if you're interested in writing the group book project with us, let me know. Contact me here on Google+, plus.google.com/plus Andy Nathan, which most people probably won't remember. Or you guys can go to just go to andynathan.net and go to the contact form, which is probably a lot easier. So definitely get in touch with me, and I would love to be able to talk with you and find out how we can get you involved with this project. We have about 12 to 15 people right now. I'm still firming up a few people right now. I'm looking to get up to about 20, and we should have some fun. I would really love to be able to see you come with and join us. And thank you so much again, Dick. And thank you, Joe Ray. He just said we had a great show, and have a blessed night, and you too. And thank you. And everyone have a great day and a better week. This is Andy Nathan from Startup Gap.
Thank you.
Oh.
Should I close it?
I hit the wrong button. Hold on. And then my computer froze.
Why not, right?
Yeah.
God
So
bless.
everybody can leave. It's okay. Just a bit of a technical problem leaving the show.
Hey,
Oh, hold on. We're still live.
it's all about our friends at Firefox helping us. That's where it began.
Hold on. Pages. I'm at the. Made it out. There we go.